Why did so many people go after Andrew Tate? I mean, you've spent time with him, right? I obviously did an episode with him. And, I said to him at the end of the episode, I said, look, like the way that you deliver a lot of the message is kind of in this bombastic wrapper, and there's an entertainment value to it. But there's a seed of truth in a lot of what he was saying. Is it a thing where they feel threatened by him? They fear kind of the truth getting out? What do you think is going on there?
It's because he's literally the anti-woke. Like he's the anti of everything that they're promoting. So I don't even think it has anything to do with his so-called misogynistic views. I don't really think they're misogynistic, but I don't think it has anything to do with that. I think it has everything to do with the fact that he's pulling people out of the matrix. So he's waking people up. He's saying nobody's coming to save you. Forget that 9 to 5. You need to save yourself. You don't need antidepressants. Let me teach you how to fight depression by yourself. What does that do? Puts the pharmaceutical companies out of work, right? And so it's because he's literally empowering men to save themselves. And I think that men are the forefront of society. Like if you have weak men, society crumbles. If you have strong women, it doesn't really matter. It's the men that matter. So if you have strong men, then society can flourish in every different way. And they don't want, like the powers that be don't want us flourishing because less control. And so like I personally learned so much from him. Like I love self-improvement content. And so I mainly watch male content, to be honest, because it's mainly the men that are doing that. He talks about happiness. And again, his content is for men, but I like it. So he's like, don't worry about being happy. Just wake up, get up and do, keep going, and I'm like, that's true. I do. I ask myself, am I happy? What do I forget happiness? Just do, take action. And that is so powerful because if you're not happy and you're wondering why you're not happy all day, you're just going to be there taking your antidepressants, feeling like a zombie, demotivated, compliant. You'll do whatever the system tells you to do. You'll take that vaccine because you can't be bothered to fight because you have no fight left in you. So he's empowering people, men in particular, and so they can't allow that.
Yeah. If you go back and you read the Stoics, and then you listen to what Andrew Tate was saying, and you strip away the delivery of both of them, right? So you strip away kind of all of the poetic, kind of almost to a degree aristocratic, wrapper from the Stoics message, and then you take away the bombastic components of Andrew Tate and you overlay them. They're saying a lot of the same stuff. Like you are in control. You have to mentally get into a certain position in order to be successful in life. There's not a lot of like random bullshit in the world and material possessions and things like that will make you happy. Like ultimately it's an inside job.
Yeah.
Right. And what cracks me up is I think that if you were to take also, Will Smith, who is pretty well loved around the world, like he has a viral video where he talks about like happiness is an inside job. And he explicitly says, it's not my job to make my wife happy. It is her job to be happy. And somehow like that was celebrated, right? And so like it's very unique because I also think it highlights this idea of like the messenger really matters. And one, it's easy to celebrate the dead people, right? Because it's like, oh, they're dead. Like they're not really threatening anymore.
Exactly.
Two is they end up getting shared by a lot of folks who we consider of high status in society today. So when you see somebody tweeting about the Stoics, reading books about the Stoics or whatever, we end up ascribing like, oh, you are of a certain status. And therefore those ideas being shared by these people today mean that these people are good and these ideas are like accepted. But then when you see somebody who to the outsider, they would say, what has Andrew Tate accomplished? The second that it is kickboxing or it is, internet business or any of these other things, it doesn't fit into the mold of, oh, you rose up in the ranks in the corporation and you became the CEO. I actually would, it would be fascinating. You can't study it or kind of run the experiment, but like what happens if you took those exact same thoughts and you had somebody from like the accepted institutions say them? What would the response be?
It's interesting because Jordan Peterson is also quite like Andrew Tate in terms of the message, empowering men to be men. And I love Jordan Peterson. Like I'm such a big fan. But even they don't like him. And he comes from the institution. He's a professor.
He wears a 3-piece suit
Yeah,
too.
he wears a full suit. This guy is a suit, exactly. He speaks impeccably well, everything about him, he's got a great family. He's still with his wife. He's not, messing around or anything like that. It's a great man. And they hate him because that's how deep the wokeness goes.
Hey, you, did you like this video? Great. Make sure you subscribe, like the video, and see you next time.